All right, we're live on Facebook. Hello, everyone. We have Lenny and Michael over here from Shakespeare's Elbow Bridge Club. Proud to say the largest bridge club in Canada. Is that true?
That's correct.
Good for you. Good for you guys. So we're going to be we're on Facebook right now. It's going to be filming the whole show, and glad you guys could join us. Corey, I don't know if you're in the camera, but Corey is also here, and of course Stephanie. And we're going to be live in about a minute.
The Dermot Weather Center, partly cloudy tonight with winds diminishing. 15 for the low, high tomorrow 17. Rain beginning in the morning. Forecasting Monday, Tuesday, sun and cloud, high 22. Temperature right now in Montreal is 22 degrees. I'm
Luciano Papilla.
Breaking news as it happens. News Talk Radio, CJAD 800.
You're listening to Life
Here we go.
with DelVecchio and Stephanie Erickson.
Good afternoon. You're listening to Life Unrehearsed. My name is Matt DelVecchio. I specialize in free retirement, home search, and senior transition support. Across from me, I have Stephanie Erickson, social worker and family caregiving expert. Hello, Stephanie.
Hey, Matt. Not a nice day today, huh?
Yes.
It's warm, though,
It is
actually.
warm, and we have to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah. Happy Thanksgiving.
I'm
American, so I forget that there's a Thanksgiving this weekend here, too.
Got to wait a month and a bit for yourself. So,
yeah.
You know, this really is a time to reflect and appreciate what we have and grateful for what we have. And, you know, that's not always the case with everyone. And in our world, Stephanie, we deal a lot with people that are lonely. Senior isolation is a major cause of depression and even premature death. And we're going to try to turn that around today because wait until you hear today. We've got two gentlemen, pretty good-looking chaps, I must say, in studio with us today. And you know, they've really done a great job putting people, put smiles and laughter, even bringing out a little bit of the competitive spirit in people, as they will be talking about Canada's largest bridge club. So that's coming up next.
Yeah, and in the second half, we're going to be talking about living your dream. I'm going to share some news. Matt will talk about your dream, and we have a special guest also to talk about her dream. But we're going to leave that for later.
Yeah, no, can't wait for that as well. All right, let's get right into it. I'm going to be very, very proud to introduce Lenny Zelnicker and Michael Efraim, founders of Shakespeare's Elbow Bridge Club, based right in the heart of Côte St. Luc and Canada's largest bridge club. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
It's wonderful to be here.
Yeah, well, thanks for being with us. You know, we'll hit you up right away with you know, what are your thoughts about here's a bridge club and how has that contributed to you tackling the issues of loneliness and maybe senior isolation?
Well, it gives our people 3 hours a day at our club. They come in about 11 o'clock, 11:30. They buy their entry. They have a little bit of a lunch. And afterwards, they socialize during lunch with everybody around them. And afterwards, they start to play, and that's when it gets a little heated sometimes, a little competitive. But otherwise, they have 3 hours of play, and totally, they get 4 hours total of socializing, and then they go home.
And Lenny, for you, do you find that sometimes when the gentlemen enter, because this is men's only, or is it women too?
No,
it's everybody.
No,
okay,
mainly women.
Oh, excellent. So
mainly women.
Mainly women. Okay,
Mind
so
you, more gentlemen are starting to retire a little earlier.
That's
now,
good.
And we're getting more men coming in, just recently.
And do you find that the reason why these individuals are coming in seeking this is because they'd like to have some more social interaction, or is it because of their love for bridge?
It's a challenge.
It's a challenge.
And that's what keeps them going. They're motivated.
The challenge cognitively for the game, you mean?
They want to become life masters.
Okay.
And the only way you become a life master is by playing a lot of bridge and winning in tournaments. And they love the competition.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but some of them are also there just for socializing.
Mm-hmm. That's why I would be there.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's during the day, so there's no it's not like a 5 à 7, huh?
No, it's not
that's
like
okay.
that. But
Forget it.
we get phone calls starting about 7 o'clock in the morning.
I guess
it's the
serious.
opposite 5 à 7.
Yeah, exactly.
You're listening to Lenny and Michael, founders of Shakespeare's Elbow Bridge Club. Again, thanks guys for joining us. And we were talking off the air, and some of the comments that you were mentioning, Lenny, about what it actually means to the participants were quite inspiring.
They have to start thinking and focusing on what they're doing, and that keeps them going. The competition is there for them, and they love it. They love it and they hate it at the same time, depending upon the hands and how it comes out for them. But overall, it keeps them going day to day.
You mentioned a story about a woman. How many years did she say she figured she gained just by joining?
10.
Wow.
10 years of life.
The
I'll
sons told us when she passed away that she gained at least 10 years more just because of bridge.
That's so nice. So you're listening to Life Unrehearsed on CJB 800. Stephanie Erickson here with Matt DelVecchio. In studio, we have with us Lenny and Michael from the Shakespeare's Elbow Bridge Club. I'm just curious, you guys, this competition piece that you're talking about, like, are we talking fist to cuffs, arguments, or
No.
what are we talking about?
No, we're just, it's more of a social
Scoring.
argument.
Scoring, okay.
It's in the scoring. And the competition is there. Trust me, it's there.
So, like, people are getting mad at each other and that kind of thing, or just mad with themselves?
It happens.
It does happen?
It's
Okay.
a partnership game.
It happens.
Okay.
A pair to play against another pair. So it's 4 people interacting. And sometimes when things don't go your way, you get angry. Usually not at the opponents, but at your partner.
Mm.
Yeah.
Or your partner gets angry with you. So it's pretty tense out there sometimes.
That's nice to hear it's a partnership game. I mean, I really know nothing about bridge, but that also brings a nice piece, because are these partners, are they able to form friendships that then they take outside of the bridge club?
What happens quite often, and Mike can back me on this, is when one of our players passes on, quite often we lose her partner.
Oh.
They just can't see themselves playing with other people. Not all, but some we lose that way. They are so close. They're like attached at the hip.
They're one.
Luckily, there's 3 or 4 partnerships amongst friends. So they play with different people on different days. So it still makes for a good time for everybody. And it goes well outside the club. I mean, they go out for supper afterwards.
That's nice.
They'll go to movies together.
That's so nice.
They'll do all types of things together.
This is great. We want to hear from you. If you have a question for Lenny or Mike about the Bridge Club, or even about what you're doing to improve your social interaction in life, please give us a call at 514-790-0800 or text us at 514-800. Love to hear from you. Now, we talked about the social interaction being good and healthy, and it's proven too from a cognitive stimulation. I mean, you guys, and then when you're playing the game, you're really thinking, and it is stimulating cognitively. And there's another benefit of cards in general, but specifically bridge.
It definitely makes people sharper. The ones that are really into playing. I mean, we have a woman at our club, God bless her, she's 100. And she wins.
Awesome.
Not only does she play and compete, but she wins.
Mm.
And it's a marvelous thing. We had 2 other women recently that were both up in the 100 mark, and they could play. They were not the dummies there.
Yeah.
They knew what they were doing. It's a beautiful thing to see.
No, it sounds excellent. I'm curious for you guys, Lenny and Michael. Maybe Michael, you can answer this. When you were younger, prior to retirement, when you were still working, was socialization and friendship as much, did you initiate it as much as you do now, or is this different for you now that you're in your retirement years?
Well, it's a little different now because I'm the owner of a club and I have to make sure everybody
Oh,
gets along.
okay.
The referee.
So you're still working, really?
I'm still working,
Okay.
not as hard as I used to work, but I still work at it.
It's 7 days a week. Well, it's 6 days a week now, but at
My
one
God.
time it was 7 days a week. And like Mike gets in early. I get in about 6:30, 6:45 every morning.
Oh my God.
Oh, no. There's things to do there.
My
Their
God.
phones to answer.
I'm like imagining like people relaxing, their retirement years. You guys are working
Oh,
like
no,
dogs.
I pick up the phone and there's a message there telling me there's 31 messages waiting for you.
Holy
Please
mackerel.
clean your... Yeah.
And then he goes, Mike, pick up those messages.
Yeah, exactly. It's your club, you pick it
No,
up.
it doesn't work that way.
Just real quick, you said how many seats are there?
There's 50 tables, and there's 4 people at a table. Now, it's not that way every day, but during the summertime, Mondays are usually very busy.
Saturdays.
Otherwise, it's just about 20 to 30 tables a day.
Just about 20 or 30 tables a
That's
day.
all. 6
Oh
days
my
a week.
God, that is so much. I'm curious because you guys have been there for a long time, and you're the owner, Mike. So obviously you have lots and lots of experiences. And I know Matt and I, one of the things that we talked about wanting to know is any of those standout moments. I personally would like to hear like one of the arguments, just because I like to hear about the drama. So I definitely want to hear some of those personal stories. But first, we're going to have to take a minute and head over to the CJAB Traffic Center.
How
Great
we
job.
doing?
Excellent,
Great.
excellent. You are who you are. That's what we wanted. You know, so it's great
We
job.
is what we is.
Like, believe it or not, I was there at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock this morning,
It's crazy.
preparing for tomorrow.
Wow,
And Lenny was there also. He was there before me.
amazing. So when would you pack it up at the end of the day?
It's
About 4:35.
Really?
Jeez.
And you're enjoying it. I mean, obviously, you know, you're
well,
passionate
you
about
gotta,
it.
my last job.
hold on. You know, I directed children's camps for a while.
You're
This
going
is
to
an
have to talk
adult
to
camp.
Corey. Okay.
It's an adult camp. That's all it is.
Mhm.
You know, you don't have to give them tuck at night.
They go home and
Their
their cars
Kilken
in.
bookies are waiting for them at home.
A lot of them have plans right through the day. They get up in the morning, they get ready for bridge and meet their partners at bridge. They might have, as I say, 4 or 5 different partners who are there at the same time playing with other friends. They'll go to supper with them after the game, or shopping, whatever.
They do that.
So a lot of them are,
You
there's
know,
80%
that's an
of them are
important
women.
point that we want to come out. That's probably going to come out in one of our questionings. Is explaining a typical day because it reinforces the whole social interaction here. So that's
So
really good.
just give Matt and I a second. So just so before we go back on, so Matt, when I come in, I'll ask about any of their standout stories.
Yeah.
That you want to do that, and you want to, I guess, at around 27, start asking them how does one sign up, how do you get information, what happens with a new member, how do they find a partner.
Right. So
Since
for
it's
the
a
last
partner
3
base.
to 4 minutes, we'll get into more of the logistics part of it. So if
Yeah.
people are interested, you know, and then we'll give you an opportunity. Will you give it a phone number, or what do you want to do? Because we're going to ask for a contact number.
Well, we have Shakespeare's Elbow Bridge Club.
The website?
Or the
4890234.
Or
Okay, so we could do
by
both,
phone,
website
yeah.
and the phone.
Yeah, I'll give them the
So-
email address, Shakespeare's Elbow at videotron.ca.
Okay, so you can give that. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Okay, so for the last 2 to 3 minutes, that's what we'll focus on the logistics
No
of
problem.
it and try to get you a few new
Yeah.
players.
Okay.
I want to talk about the Steph, Jeff, can you hear me? Yeah. I want to ask about the living your dreams, which would be a good segue also for the second half.
Yeah, but in what sense, living your dreams, like related to the club?
Relating to what these two gentlemen did 21 years ago and packed it in from the corporate world and
Oh, so they okay, perfect. Just make sure.
You did something where you did this, but then you continued talking. I thought if you're doing this, it's because you're going out to something.
no, that means wrap it up.
I know,
Yeah.
please wrap it up. So
Which
I
you
thought
did
that-
great.
Yeah, it was terrific. So but then
Because-
you asked another question.
No, because
Or-
I knew it was 4:14 in about 10-15 seconds, and Stephanie's going out to traffic. So I'm
so
I
you
see
say
him
wrap
go
it up
out,
so you can
so
pick
she
I
it
can
see.
up.
go out.
Yeah, he's telling him wrap it
Yeah.
up.
So you
I'm
can go-
already looking at the clock, knowing now I have to introduce what we call the teaser for the next
teaser,
segment.
okay.
So I joke around a bit and then come into
Okay.
what are some stories, and then we lead out. Aren't you studying Facebook Live, Corey? You're supposed to be studying. There'll be a test on September 25th.
Fail.
Who
That's
was
right.
the-
Who went out to traffic?
You're coming in, eh? Well, we got a song first.
Oh yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Here we go.
Such a feel-good song. I like that song.
Should be the Golden Guys, not the Golden Girls.
Absolutely. Did you watch that show, Matt?
Am I supposed to answer that truthfully? Because the answer is yes.
But I have to say, Betty White, she's like an amazing woman. Anyways, you're listening to Life Unrehearsed. Stephanie Erickson, social worker and family caregiving expert, here with Matt DelVecchio, who specializes in free retirement, home search, and senior transitions. And we have with us Lenny and Michael from the Shakespeare's Elbow Bridge Club in Côte St. Luc. Before we went out to traffic, I was asking you guys about some standout stories. So I'm looking for things like fights, but you already told me you're probably not going to tell those stories. So maybe some romances that developed here. But what are some of those moments where you guys felt really good about having this club and how you could really see how it enhanced somebody's life?
Well, I'm thinking of somebody that plays at our club. His son had passed away in an accident in Nepal. Climbing accident, and he couldn't get over it.
Yeah.
And so his place that he came to for relief from the daily stress was Shakespeare's Elbow Bridge Club. And sure enough, I mean, you never get over the loss of a child, but it helped an awful lot. It took his mind off of his problems for at least 4 hours. And that's it.
Yeah, I mean, you use an environment like that. I mean, it helps you forget about whatever the stress is going on, but also, you know, when you've lost a major connection, at least you know there are other connections, there are other links to other people. So at least emotionally, you know, you have some people who are supporting you and caring about you.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's an emotional release. And
yeah, absolutely.
A great story. I think that's a perfect example of what you have created here. Lenny, you must. I'm almost afraid to ask you. This is only an hour.
I have one that comes from Bridge. Dear friend of mine, also a bridge partner of mine, who was dying of cancer. And I stopped by his home one day, and he wasn't home. I figured he's in the hospital. I went to the Montreal General. I checked, and sure enough, he was there. When I got into his room, the wife was sitting there, and he was under the heaviest sedation they could possibly give him, the oxygen. And I went over to him, and she said he's on his way out. I went over to him, and I said, Mike, if you know I'm here, squeeze my hand. He squeezed my hand. I left the room. He died a minute later.
Oh, wow. Well, you must have had an incredible bond.
I could never forget that.
Wow.
Yeah. And you met this gentleman at the
Playing
bridge club?
bridge.
Oh, amazing.
When I first met him, he was cocky. He had the program under his arm all the time with a pipe. And I took him to a hockey game one day. And he became like my brother. He just loved every minute of it. He was a very fine bridge player. He was a brilliant man, business-wise. But they come and go. And I've lost 4 or 5 bridge partners.
Oh, boy, that's sad.
And you know, you bounce back, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you have to understand. It's like a flock. You got to keep going.
Yeah, this is CJD 800. Stephanie Erickson here with Matt DelVecchio. We're in studio with Lenny and Michael from the Shakespeare's Elbow Bridge Club. What you're saying, Lenny, I really like, because it reminds us that it's never too late to form friendships as well. So a lot of us think back to our early childhood years. Oh, she was my best friend in 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade. But you know what? I mean, not that you can't still be friends with those people, but a lot of friendships can be formed at every age. And so never give up hope. Put yourself out there, because you can make great connections like you did with this gentleman.
Yeah, no, it's a very inspiring story, and it goes to show the power of people might hear Bridge Club. Well, no, it is much more than that. It's really a snapshot of life as well.
Yeah.
By the way, if you do want to call in, have a chat with Lenny or Michael, have a quick question about the Bridge Club, or what have you done to take initiatives for senior isolation and loneliness, please call us at 514-790-0800. We'd love to hear from you, or you can even text us at 514-800. Now, guys, it's 21 years in the making, but I find it very interesting that this is a labor of love. Our next segment, actually, we're going to be talking about living your dreams. And in a way, just in hearing you and seeing you and talking to you, you're living your own dreams. Would that be fair in saying that?
We're
Very
doing
fair.
what we love.
We do.
And we do love it.
I stopped. I folded up my construction company. I'm an engineer by education, and I've been in construction most of my life. 20 years ago, I had an opportunity to get out, get into bridge, and live my dream, and I did it, and it worked out just fine.
And Michael, what part of that is your dream? Because you're saying living your dream. Is it that you've created this place where people can go and connect? Is that the dream, or is it the love of the game? What is it for you?
I love the game. I love the connection that I make with people. It's a lot of fun. It's much better than hearing complaints about toilets don't flush. It's, at all hours. But I find it no problem to go to work early in the morning and stay late at night. It's really fulfilling. I find the people terrific to interact with. And hopefully they're enjoying themselves also when they're at my place.
And you were just saying, I mean, you're in at 6, 7 in the morning, guys, right? And not leaving at 4. Amazing.
There's no fooling around there. I mean, we had some competition that tried to open up bridge clubs, and they thought they could come in at 11 o'clock in the morning and everything was going to be great. It doesn't work that way. If you're in the business, you got to be there. You have to say hello to the people when they call and make sure that you're available for them. And that's basically what it's all about.
The other thing that's really nice, I mean, there's so many points that I'm loving about this, but Lenny and Mike, you guys are talking, Michael, sorry, I said Mike. Is it Michael or Mike? Anyways,
whichever you
Mike,
want to call
the guy
him.
next to me, the handsome guy next to me. What I also love about what you're saying is that it kind of is giving, it not kind of, it has given you both a routine. And I think when you're, used to the business world, and it's a very big transition to retire. We had someone in here talking about retirement, and it's like we have it wrong here where we're working full-time like dogs one day, and then the next day we do nothing, and it's really hard, that transition. But this club has enabled a lot of people as well to really put some routine in their day, which also helps with mental health and cognitive health and all of that.
Yeah, definitely. We have some people that play 5 days a week, 6 days a week.
Wow.
Incredible. Speaking of that, let's get into some of the logistics. If first of all, is it a membership? What do I do? To
No
give me
membership.
a typical day, what do we do if I want to?
No membership. It's open to anybody, and you come with a partner. And if you want to play and you don't have a partner, you call in and we put you down on a list. And if we have other people calling in looking, we make marriages. We do, and we do a lot of that. So people don't have to be ashamed. I mean, they can call anytime they want, and there's someone there to look after it, either Mike or I. But we do match up people.
That's great. And when people show up, so let's say, hypothetically, I call, I say I want to join. First of all, could I join at 47? Is there an age?
There's no joining.
Oh,
It's open to
you just
anybody.
open any age.
You're a member
Any age.
right away.
So I could, like right now I'm a member.
You're a member.
Awesome.
There you
Look
go.
at that.
You're
Okay,
in.
so hypothetically, I call you, I say, I need a partner. Do I have to know about bridge? Do I have to understand the game? Or is
Yeah.
someone
You
going to
should.
teach me? I
You
should
have to.
already.
You should. You
This
have
is
to.
no beginners or
There
doing
is
this around here.
beginners. We have we have a plan like Tuesdays and Thursdays in the mornings. There's someone teaching people.
Okay. Okay, so Matt, that's
Very
when
good.
we're going. So you want to be
All
partners?
right, yeah, that could be very dangerous too.
Yeah, but 6 a.m. I'm already getting up at 6
There you
a.m.
are.
with the puppy.
There
I
you
don't think I then want to also do bridge. It sounds tiring for me. It's a long day.
But it's a wonderful thing, and like you say, the arguments usually happen within the partnerships. But I
That's right.
think also you were saying even after the bridge. And by the way, just for clarification, it costs how much, and it includes lunch, I think.
It costs $14 a session. It includes a light lunch, some tuna fish salad, some egg salad.
Tofu and cottage cheese and bagels and there's enough there.
And a session, $14 for a session. That's the full 4 hours, you mean?
Yeah.
Wow. All right, we got to go.
That's with lunch.
Wow.
Lunch included. There's a good deal.
Yeah.
And even afterwards, you're saying people leave the social club, the bridge club, and they're socializing afterwards, even, right?
Definitely.
They all get. We turn out sheets of the game, like with the scores and the
Results.
layout, the recaps. They love that. They pick it. We prepare it for them, and they go through all the hands that they botched and
Oh
did
my
whatever.
God.
Oh no!
This is like a real science here.
Yeah, they have a good time.
And lastly, the location again, just to repeat.
Is the 4th floor of Cavendish Mall in Côte Saint Luc. We're Suite 420. Our phone number
We're right opposite the elevator.
Okay.
Our phone number is 514-489-0234. And we have a website. Our email address is shakespeareselbow@videotron.ca. And you can email us, you can call us. It's
And you're already
great.
a member.
And you're already a member.
Excellent.
And Michael,
Doesn't
at
cost.
72, I think it is, right? You're the technical guru of the group here, right?
Oh,
And-
for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah, I understand. And Lenny, a man is allowed to ask how old you are.
Ah. I love being 85.
Excellent.
And we'll
Excellent.
keep it at that. Well, really great. You know,
Nice.
hats off to you. You've done a
Yeah.
heck of a job here and built this to Canada's largest bridge club. You guys should be very proud. You wear it on your heart, and so thank you very much for joining us on Life Unrehearsed.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much
Yeah, it's really
for
nice.
having us.
Oh, it's our pleasure. It's our pleasure.
Our pleasure is right. So, coming up now, we're going to be discussing a segment on living your dreams with Stephanie and myself.
Special
We
guest.
also have a special guest and a very big announcement.
Yep.
And this will all be coming up after the news. And let's head over to the CJAD News with Luciano.
Right.
We're done?
That's
Done. Way to go, guys.
Thank you very much.
my pleasure. Michael.
Incidentally,
Really nice to meet you.
Stephanie.
Yeah.
We've had sessions at the club where we had to split a husband and wife from playing with each other.
We're
Oh,
gonna kill each
that's
other.
Oh,
I'm
the
sure.
language.
I'm sure. I worked at the Y, so they have their bridge.
Where, at the YMHA?
The YMHA, and it was insanity.
Oh,
Oh my God.
Lenny, I'm going to shake your hand and I'm going to run to the restroom. I've been drinking water like
Hey,
crazy.
real pleasure. Thanks for taking the time and being with us. You guys were fantastic,
Yeah,
entertaining,
really.
exactly what we want.
I didn't go into the other details about cutting out certain products because they were wrapping them up and stealing. Taking
Oh,
them.
yeah. My
You know what
grandma
we're gonna
talks
do
about
here?
that. Of her.
We're gonna go like this. You're gonna look right there and say bye, Facebook.
So long.
Thanks, buddy.
Matt, it was a
Yeah,
pleasure
Michael.
to meet you.
Thank you. I really appreciate your time and being
How do
here.
we
Best
get
of
up?
luck. We're gonna go in here. I'll show you what to do. You gotta pull really hard.
Corey, good luck in the
Thank
future.
you.
We'll,
Thank you so much.
we'll look for you. Oh.
Careful, lots of chairs.
Yeah.
Oh. Hey, they didn't ask you. You guys play as well, I'm assuming.
I play. I play well. A lot of fun.
Goes live.
Here or
open.
there? I think she wants.
So now you should go right there.
Does she want me there? I thought she wanted me there because.
Oh, did she say that?
For the line of.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see what it looks like. If you go there, just see if you're going to be in the line. Well, you'll be able to see if you sit there. Oh no, I can't see it.
Nice guys.
Yeah, they were really nice. Do you want her here for this session, or are you're not in the? She's not in the camera there, is she?
Well, I want her in the camera. No, I don't know. Well, my camera,
For this.
yes, I think she is. So the only reason why I don't is just because I'm already as close in as I can get, and I
So
don't.
sit in that chair to see if you're in it, and if you are, then you just come to this chair. Can you see?
No, she's not in it there.
So
She's on
you're-
Facebook. She's
Yeah.
okay there.
I'm on Facebook.
Okay.
So it's fine. We're on Facebook.
You're good?
Okay, we're good.
Feeling pumped?
Yeah. So good. What am I doing here
Mic's
again?
on.
Well, complex. The Belvedere has options to meet every need.
Audio is back on.
Ask about interest-free payments for up to
Audio
40
is
years
back
in
on.
cemetery
Audio.
property.
I can't hear the
Memories are the essence of life.
Audio is
How
back
will
on.
you
Yep.
remember? The Belvedere Cemetery is
Oh, Chris, you must be proud of me. I'm setting it up
4440.
all by myself. Look at her.
Okay, Steph, you're opening.
Am I? Okay.
At the Spinelli dealers of Montreal.
Do it before everyone else and save big. Go to any Spinelli dealer before October
Pop off the
15th.
chair. That'll be
Cars
nice.
in
That'll be
stock for an
nice.
unbeatable $19.95. Or buy 4 winter tires at the best
Nice guys.
price and get an additional
Yeah.
$50.
Oh, guys.
I asked. You didn't ask. I asked. Do you play?
They play, but they don't have time. They said. Or
One pipe, one doesn't.
oh yeah, is that what it was?
Price installed
One
I didn't
doesn't
even
play
think
as
to ask
much.
that question.
on Saturday.
It's easier when you're on the outside.
Huh?
It's easier when you're on the outside of it. Like you could think of other questions.
Yeah, and yeah,
TV.
yeah.
10-time Emmy nominee.
I guess I was just assuming they did, but you're right.
What are you doing?
No other show has touched so many.
Best thing that ever happened to me was you telling me that you'd marry me.
Oh, that's such a great show. This Is Us.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It's TV.
we're still on the first season. It's on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing. Oh, it's so good.
I love it.
Are you looking
That
for an
guy who
amazing
plays,
high school? The Lester B. Pearson School Board has the
Forget his
highest
name.
success
The
rate
actor,
in the province.
character,
What
who's
makes
the
their
actor.
school different?
He looks a
Challenging,
lot like my
creative,
ex-husband. He
focused,
reminds
and
me a lot.
inspired. These are just a few of the words that define the
My
student
ex-husband's
experience at the Lester B.
gorgeous.
Pearson School
And
Board.
I'd say, even my husband knows he was, or is, very, very, very good looking.
Does he live in California still?
LBCSE.qc.ca.
Yes, I said that about you, Eric.
Education
Huh?
to succeed.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Thinking about fall? Think Fabricville for this season.
I don't know. I don't really have
Another
anyone
Days
who's
only tomorrow and Tuesday.
connected with him. Huh?
Fabricville is offering
Another
elite members incredible savings. All new fall and
So
winter
you're swimming
fashion
when
fabrics
you-
are 50% off. All drapery and upholstery fabrics
Yeah, and then
and
just
ready to
point
hang
to me.
curtains are also
you.
50%
You'll know.
off. But remember, it's for 2 days only and only at Fabricville.
Well, that was good
And we're
though. The
not-
rhythm, Matt, of us back and
very
forth.
good.
Yeah, no, I thought it went really well. So this part, we're not doing any call-ins or texts, just us.
And you'll see, Corey, how with guests like that, there has to be a lot more summarization. Oh, you're making a good point, blah, blah, blah. Like, there has to be us more engaged and stuff because they're not as clear, they're not as concise, they're not, and
Fight
you'll...
osteoporosis and osteoarthritis with
And we helped them along with that.
Yeah.
Yes, you would.
Exactly.
That was, it was a very nice,
calcium,
it was a
vitamin
nice
D3, and boron.
And they were good.
It was interesting, both their stories were stories about death.
I'm
and-
telling you,
Yeah.
it lost.
Bone and joint will relieve your joint
It
pain
is into
associated with
everything, because everything
osteoarthritis
lost.
thanks to their exclusive
So it's touching. I think it was good radio.
supported by
I think it was.
clinical
I think
studies.
so.
I just hear Chris in the background.
So,
No,
well,
we're doing
guys,
good.
you
Yeah,
want to say
exactly.
something?
Here we go, Corey.
Matt DelVecchio and Stephanie Erickson, tackling the topics that life throws in your way.
Welcome back. You're listening to Life Unrehearsed. I'm Stephanie Erickson, social worker and family caregiving expert, here with Matt DelVecchio, who specializes in senior transitions and relocation. Oh my gosh, it's so sad to hear that Tom Petty
A
song.
little tribute to him. Why
I
not?
know.
He deserves it.
And talk about, we're going to be talking about living a dream. Here he was, he stopped working so that he could spend time with his family, and then that happens to him. It makes me really sad.
Yeah, he was one of the best.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking about living a dream. And Matt, I know you know a lot about this because you left the corporate world to live your dreams. So that was pretty risky for you, huh?
Yeah, it was, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that because this is what this segment is. And I think as we age and we go through could be a corporate world, could be in the professional world, sometimes I think everyone has that thought, oh, geez, I wonder if I could start something on my own or do something on my own. And we always tend to hesitate and make up excuses, and because it is a big life decision. So I was fortunate to do that. And Stephanie, I know you're in the midst of living your dream right now. Why don't you let us in on it?
Dreams in many ways. And I like the point that you mentioned about we always hesitate. And that's what I've always done in my life is only in the last 2 or 3 years have I felt that I've taken more risks. I mean, I guess I can say I was born in California, moved to Montreal. That was pretty risky, but it wasn't in a lot of ways. But yeah, now I'm taking a huge leap. I've decided to let go of the Life Unrehearsed show. Matt, of course,
What?
you're still here. Oh, well, I forgot to tell you.
This is a surprise.
Of course, Matt will still be here, and we have Corey in studio. We're going to talk about her a bit. She's going to be taking over for me. Very, very tough decision. Took me a long time, many, many weeks of mulling it over, but I really want to focus on my production company. This Matters to Me with my partner, Chris Wynn. My heart is fully in that, and I decided to put all of my energy in that as well. But it's sad because I love CJAD, and I love the show, and I like being a host here, but I want to be in front of the camera. This is not in front of the camera.
Yeah.
I'll go Facebook Live.
No, but good for you. I'm sure it must have been a very, very difficult decision.
Yeah.
You're torn. You're still torn probably today.
Yeah.
But with that, you need to take risks. And I really take my hat off to you, Stephanie, because this is a big, big move for you. And you're going for it. And you can't stop anyone from trying to live their dream. So maybe give a couple more details about what you're going to be doing.
Okay, so This Matters to Me is a company that I started with Chris Wynn, who is a documentary filmmaker, and we do videos for businesses, helping them tell their story. And I do love that piece, and it's definitely something we're going to continue to do. But what we've also done is created our own show called This Matters to Me Live. Some of it's live, some of it are pre-produced segments. But what we're doing is we're finding people who have compelling stories, real human interest stories, things that they've struggled with, things that they've managed, surpassed. And it kind of started with my own story of anxiety and what I've done to combat that and live fully with that. And so we're finding other people in the community who have similar stories and interviewing them and putting together pieces about them and then sharing it.
Good for you. Like you say, you'll be on more of an on camera. So okay, we've got Oprah and Ellen at the top end, right? And okay, and now you're at the ground level, and okay, somewhere in between.
Excuse me, Matt. It's Oprah, Ellen, Stephanie, Wendy, Williams. Like they're no. Yeah. No, I mean, you know what? It would be great to be at the level of Ellen, but as I've always wanted to do is to help people. And I just want to help people in a different way than I was in the past. I want to inspire people and tell different types of stories.
You're listening to Life Unrehearsed, and this truly is a Life Unrehearsed topic. I'm Matt DelVecchio here with Stephanie Erickson. This segment, we're talking about living our dreams. Stephanie just announced that she will be leaving Life Unrehearsed, and we will be announcing the new co-host coming up in the second half of this segment. And you mentioned something, Stephanie, very important about wanting to help others. This is your social worker, and this is in your blood, and I think that's a big part of the reason why I made the move. I was approaching 50 and in the corporate world, and sometimes there are trigger events, and you might get laid off, or you're in your 50s and something happened. In this case, that wasn't a trigger event. This was something that I've always wanted to start my own company, wanted to do. My boss, the owner, Matty Chinks, the owner of Avmore, treated me tremendously, and whenever I had kids events or whatever, it wasn't like don't go, it was the opposite, go, but you still with the corporation, and I always wanted to start my own company, and why I chose and what I do is we help moms and dads and adult children when it comes time to find retirement homes and help them with the whole transition. It's a free service for families, and I saw my dad go through it with his parents, and my buddies now who have some older parents are going through this, and I say there's just got to be a better way, and this is how Lianas Services started, and it has been so gratifying. I mean, we're going to talk about the pros and cons of it, because it does come with a lot of sleepless nights and a little bit of stress, and a lot of stress sometimes, and anxiety, and you got to be prepared to jump in the deep end and deep. Are you prepared for the savings account to be gone, and then dig into the TFSAs to be gone?
Yeah, exactly. And I think when you're talking about a trigger event, Matt, what I find interesting is that for you, and I wasn't aware that there wasn't like a trigger event. I knew that you were passionate about helping seniors, and so I thought it was your passion that was leading you, but I also thought there must be some event, and I had never asked you that question. But for me, there's no trigger event either. I love Life Unrehearsed. I love hosting with you. I like doing this show. And so that's what made it so hard, is when you really love something, you actually think you're good at it, although maybe others would disagree, but I think I'm pretty good at this job as well. And it was really hard to make a decision to leave something that's serving you really well in the hopes that you're going to get what ultimately you love.
And I think that's the point, because many people I'm sure are going through this. A lot of our advisors at Lianas are usually, and these are the people that go around with families. I mean, Montreal and Ottawa, Toronto, Vancouver, and our advisors are usually women in their 50s or 60s who have been in the corporate life, worked with seniors, and they're semi-retired, but you know what? My husband's driving me nuts all day. I want to keep busy. I want to be my own boss. And so they're fed up with the corporate world, but they still want to keep busy. And I think a lot of people are in that boat. And it's just a matter of, I'd like to ask you, because there's that fear, you have to take that leap, and that's the tough part. And so how did you deal with some of those fears, you figure?
My kids are rolling their eyes because it all goes back to the flying trapeze. They're like, oh God, here we go again, another flying trapeze analogy. But truthfully, the last 3 years doing that sport, doing the flying trapeze, and showing myself time and time again that no matter how afraid I am, I always manage to survive. I always manage to not only survive, but actually surpass any of the expectations that I may have had. So that experience I've been able over the years to just translate into my everyday life and say, you know what? I know that I can do it. And if for some reason things don't work out with This Matters to Me Live, then there's something else in my path that's where I'm meant to go. So I think I'm just starting to feel more confident with myself, and it's from continually putting myself in uncomfortable situations and then achieving something, and then it's like, okay, put that in my back pocket. Yes, I can.
I think that's a huge point. And you're listening to Life Unrehearsed. That was Stephanie Erickson. I'm Matt DelVecchio, and we're talking about living your dreams and how to actually take that leap. And Stephanie, you talked about, okay, eventually it's, okay, do I do it or not? And you got to go for it. You talked about children at rolling their eyes, but at the end of the day also, I think family plays a crucial role in this. One, you need the support of family. You just can't do this on your own. We've had, our family, my wife, and because it's going to be a lot of hours, it takes a lot of time, you need that support for sure. But for me, it was also work-life balance. I don't mind doing the hours and putting it in, but when I've got to pick up my daughter now, for whatever reason, or my son, that guilt isn't there as often. And so that's been a big part of work-life balance and decision I made. So what we're going to do here, Stephanie, now is just after traffic, we're going to be officially introducing Corey Sirota as our new co-host.
We're doing a relay.
Okay. Pass the baton.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's head to the CJD Traffic Center first, and we'll talk to Corey after that.
Now an update from the CJAD 800
How was that wedding?
Still a heavy-duty Mercier Bridge heading for the South Shore with
That
one
was
lane open on each side of the span until 5 a.m. That's why you're feeling the heat onto the
It's so
20
funny because
on the
it's
Mercier
completely
approach.
opposite
In
for me,
fact,
right?
very
I'm not
thick
like,
through
yes, I'm
Vecchio
living my
on
dream,
the way
but
to
it's not,
Hungary with this one lane open for business there
risk
until
here, but
midnight
it's
tonight.
it's
Inbound
more, but
Mercier,
I'm so
that's going to be almost from the 07
For the show.
For the show, yeah, I'm not
in the
feeling
outer
like I'm
35
giving
sector
anything up. I'm
emerging
feeling if
over
I'm
there in St.
expanding.
Jean
That's,
City. You're met eastbound or
You know,
route over to St. Hubert, then
I
it
actually, in
opens
a lot of
upwards
ways,
and
feel that
southbound
way too,
is,
because, and maybe it's only because when I told Chris and he said, well, there are other opportunities here, do you want to pursue them? And then I was like, you see, when you just say to yourself, I'm going to just do something, no matter how uncomfortable it is, I'm going to do it anyway, because I just feel in my gut it's right. And then this big door opens. So it may or may not work, but it just tells me I'm heading in the right direction. Someone who has a lot of experience sees talent. So that means that it can be, maybe here's, it's not going to be, it won't be massaged out here, but maybe it will, and,
And it does help, I think, when you're not relying on a paycheck for this.
Sure, but I don't want to say that.
No, for sure. Okay, so just really quick. I'm going to come out of traffic. I'll formally introduce Corey.
Why don't I come out of traffic since you went out,
because I'll be
and
going
then
out.
because
Okay,
you're going
no
out?
problem.
Yeah.
So, do you want to introduce Corey then?
I can, but I'm happy to just come back and say I
Come
just
back, throw it
announced.
to me.
I just announced, and we're about to introduce our co-host. Super excited. Matt, you do the honors.
Okay,
and then you can, yeah.
I'll ask a basic question, Corey. Tell us a quick little thing about yourself, just family and job.
So I'm not
Not the living the dream
No.
yet, because I'd like Stephanie to come into back and support this move and say some good words about
so
you.
what am I saying? Just married, 2 kids.
Two kids, and what you're doing in your
Social worker. I
social
specialize
worker,
in grief.
right? And then we'll put it over to Stephanie.
Okay.
Good words back to Corey. Then I'll get into Corey. This is living your dream, isn't it? And then you take over.
Yeah, we won't have much time
We-
for that, so it'll be really short. Corey, you'll have more time next week, though, right? Because if you
Yeah.
want to say stuff going out and we want to
So
banter
just
before we
bear
go
in
out,
mind, So I figure
we'll literally have like
we want
5
to be at
minutes.
4:54 and a half is when I want to start.
Yeah, so we won't have much time, so if you can be short, Corey, so Matt has his time.
Yeah, well, you've got about a minute.
About a minute?
I think we'll be good with that.
So you have time and I have time to, I want to be able to thank you as well, Matt.
Yeah, so
So-
maybe at 4:54 you start your goodbyes and thank yous or whatever, and then at 30 seconds, 45 seconds, then I'll jump in and finish
Okay,
up.
perfect. That feels good. It also helps when my friend's texting me, "You want to train next Sunday?" I'm like, "Oh, okay, I have yes."
And also you said that one of the shows where you now can see the people coming in from the trapeze. Because you're going to be available.
Yeah, they always. I was coaching these girls from Ottawa for a year, and then I had to stop coaching them, and now I get to return to those sessions, so that's fun. They made me a shirt, and they brought it to my gig that I did. They made it, and on the front it says "Squeeze your butt," because whenever they're like, "And what do I do on the board?" I'm like, "Just squeeze your ass," because no matter what, as long as you squeeze your ass and you're tight, it's going to work better. So they made me a shirt and it says "Squeeze your butt," and then on the back it says "Coach Steph." So nice.
Very cool.
Yeah. So anyways, I get to now start working with them again, so that's cool.
Why don't you reintroduce myself? You said professional and personal, right? I can say it.
Yeah.
Here we go. I'm coming. I'll save you all from singing that high note.
The head is bobbing.
Exactly. You're listening to CJAD 800 Life Unrehearsed. Stephanie Erickson here with Matt DelVecchio. And I've just announced that I'm going to be stepping away from hosting the Life Unrehearsed show to pursue on a full-time basis my video production company with my partner Chris Wynn called This Matters to Me. So I say that with a heavy heart. But I'm also very excited because the person that is coming to replace me is an amazing woman. Matt, I'll let you do the honors.
Yeah, in fact, Corey has been on the show a couple of
Yeah.
times. A very charismatic person. And Corey, I'd like to officially welcome you now as the co-host of Life Unrehearsed. And congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. To say I'm excited would be an understatement.
Yeah.
Well, great. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself personally and what you do on your day-to-day?
Sure. How long do we have? So I am a clinical social worker and psychotherapist. I specialize in grief and loss. I teach at the McGill School of Social Work. I published a book. I facilitate groups, and I am the clinical director of Camp Erin, a bereavement camp for children.
And you breathe also?
Yeah. And then personally, I have a wonderful husband named Andy and two fantastic young adult daughters, Ashley and Justine.
Yeah. And what's really special about this for me is that Corey has been a good friend of mine for a very long time. I moved here in 2003, and she was the first friend that I made. I started working at Jewish Family Services. Corey was there. I moved into town, I think, just about 3 months before the holidays, the Jewish holidays, and I didn't know anybody, and you invited me to your house, and we didn't even really know each other. And so I really love you so much, and I'm so happy for you, Corey. And on another note, she's really, really, really funny. So all of you are in for a treat. No pressure, but she's very funny.
No, we're blessed, and I'm so pleased to have you as a co-host, Corey. You were just listening in on the Living the Dreams section, and you were saying this is also living your dream, is it?
Without a doubt. This is, for me, all I have ever wanted to do is make a difference. Steph said you want to help people. I want to help people. I've always known this. And for me, making a difference and helping is really about teaching. And you've heard my laundry list of things that I do. Teaching comes in many, many different ways, shapes, and form. So for me, the opportunity to come now and have a global, larger place to share some insights, to educate people, to offer support, if that is not living a dream, you tell me what is.
Yeah. And what I love about it is that we both want to help people, Corey, but there's so many ways to do it. And so I think you just have to find what resonates for you. Find what is that makes you the most happy, and then find a way to do that in whatever avenue that is,
Absolutely, and Corey, you do have a lot of those avenues. You're teaching at McGill and your own practice, and maybe this is just another soapbox for you.
Oh, great! Now her husband's like, "Oh God, here we go, another soapbox." Matt, I'd like to say a few things to you. Can I do that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so it's been okay getting to know you. I really I appreciate so much being here with you, Matt. This was your initial concept for this show, and you asked me to join you, and then we've been partners along the way, 50-50 the entire time, and it's been such a pleasure to get to know you, to get to know your daughter. I've met your wife, still have not met your son. But it's been a real pleasure, and I want to thank you so much, and I wish you guys the best of luck. I also want to say thank you to Matthew Wood, and with those Kleenexes that he gave us when he was first giving us our reviews of when we first went live, and also to Chris Berry as well for believing in me and allowing me to have this opportunity.
Yeah, they did help us out. We're 6 months into it, and
Yeah.
you know, we've learned a lot along the way, and we're still learning.
Absolutely.
Very proud to claim that we have the number one rated show during our time
Yep.
bracket, and we want to keep that
Yeah,
going.
Corey, no
no
pressure.
pressure at all. No pressure at all. That's
It's
right.
all good.
Yeah.
Well, Stephanie, really, I want to wish you all the best and
Thanks,
much
Matt.
success. You really deserve it, and I mean that genuinely.
I know you do.
It's been a real pleasure working with you. You're just a compassionate, energetic person, a work ethic that I've never seen in anyone before. You work incredibly hard. You're extremely professional, creative, and you're a joy to be with. You know, and I'm going to miss that laugh. You know, it's a real pleasure. I only wish you the best, and in a way we had talked about at the opening, this is bittersweet.
Sure.
I think we've really developed some rapport, and you're moving on, hopefully to bigger and better things. And bittersweet by also you've opened the door for someone else now.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
and Corey, I think this is a tremendous opportunity for you. I'm so happy that
Me too,
you're
Corey.
part of Life Unrehearsed. Again, just in the discussions we've had off air over the last couple of weeks, it's amazing the ideas and creativity and your
she's
network
amazing.
and because we take pride. I think, Stephanie, we take a
Absolutely.
lot of pride in the content we try to bring to the table week in and week out.
Yeah.
We want to educate, we want to inspire, and we want to have spectacular guests wherever we can. You know?
And I really believe wholeheartedly, Corey, that you are going to offer so much to the show. And I love you so much, and I'm so happy for you. Matt, love you too. And you said we have a nice rapport. I think we have a friendship. Hello,
Friendship,
we
right.
have rapport. Okay. So, but thank you again so much, Matt, and thank you to CJD.
No, thank you, and I feel like a group hug now or something.
Oh,
right?
Some
You know,
tissues.
talking about great guests, next week we're very, very proud. We've got an excellent
Yeah.
lineup. We have Dr. Dworkin, who will be talking to us. He's a specialist on medical marijuana. It will be very, very interesting to talk about
Bringing
this.
in samples.
We'll find out. We'll see. It might make it for an even more interesting show. And we're really proud to have Teresa Deller. Teresa is the executive director and co-founder of West Island Palliative Care Residence and recent recipient of the Order of Canada. She will be live in studio with us. We're so blessed to have her. And so, again, Stephanie, best of luck.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you, everyone, for listening
Good
to
luck.
Life Unrehearsed. You can catch us live every Sunday at 4 o'clock. Happy Thanksgiving. Eat lots and lots and lots. Be a glutton. You can walk it off tomorrow. News shortly.
And
That's a wrap.
mic drop.
Obama out. All right, last goodbye to Facebook, Steph.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in.